So core class. Our Wednesday class is the same sequence each week because even though we try to change up the rest of them, it's super important for us as we're on our back and as we come into our abdominal work that we're not looking to the side at a device. It just totally tweaks the neck in the wrong way. The gaze, as we work through the front part of the body, will be up to the ceiling. So be super mindful of that. I'll try to cue. I'll try to put my earpiece in. Let's see if it connects.
Thumbs up. Nope. Good. And Sherry just did her first sit-up from her back and up. Let's all practice that on your back and up. Okay, enough of that. All right, let's come down onto our backs. Adjust the towel, the bolster, on the lower part of the shoulder blades. Initially, let's rest the head on a block. So again, the chin is kind of tucked in here. There's length in the back of the neck. I'm just going to bring initially my my legs to like a seated position as I just place the hands on the body. Close down the eyes. Welcome yourself to the mat. Welcome the breath into the body. And as you welcome the breath into the body, perhaps you let the mind watch for the breath. So the breath comes in the nose and it fills the chest and the ribs and the belly. And then that breath washes back through us, softening, easing down the body towards the mat. Let's take about 3 breaths here. In and out the nose. Just allow yourself to ground and to center. And to start this day in a very mindful, hopefully focused, centered way. 2 more breaths. And then blinking the eyes open, bring your feet close, flat on the mat to the sit bones, knees straight ahead. Take the block or whatever you're using from the back of the head and allow the head to come down to rest on the mat. So with the elevation of the upper spine here, this is where you take your first test to see how high your towel is. So if you need to roll over, kind of unroll your towel a little bit, the breath should be fluid. It should not be catching in the back body. So make that adjustment. Bring the hands to the base of the thighs, right where the hip crease is. Palms resting on the thighs. We're just going to take a couple sweeps again, just to scan the body, to notice what we notice so that we can make adjustments before we begin the practice. So hands resting on top of the thighs. Take a full breath in, draw that belly in and up, like you could tuck it underneath the low ribs. And then with your exhale, lift the head and lift the shoulders and let the fingers slide up towards the knee. Slowly, inhale, relax down, head lifts, comes back down to the mat. So we'll take about 4 more of those. Again, feel free to adjust the prop underneath the body. Inhale, belly in, exhale, slide and lift. Inhale, return everything to the mat. Okay, so my voice is catching. I'm going to roll. You continue 3 more. And I'm just going to unroll just, okay. So we inhale, tuck the belly, exhale, curl in. So the low rib and that hip point squeeze in together and then come back down. Last one. And as you arrive back down on your mat, interlace the hands right behind the roundness of the skulls. I allow my thumbs to kind of slide down the sides of my neck. Let the elbows go wide first as you take a deep breath in. So feel all the space across the chest, maybe even out to those elbows. Then draw the elbows up to the ceiling. And we're going to start that 4-part move. So we come up halfway, we curl in, we come down halfway, and then we lower back down to the mat. We do it with breath. So again, here, laying on your mat, draw the belly in on the inhale. Exhale, come up halfway. Curl in, elbows towards the knees. Exhale, come back halfway and lower down. All right, big breath in. Inhale, half. Exhale, elbows towards the knees. Come back halfway on the inhale. Exhale, release everything to the mat. So we're not pulling on the head. And I think Sandra here in Columbia Falls said using a dish towel as a hammock for the head helps not pull it so much. Inhale, come up. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, come back halfway and lower. Inhale, squeeze. Inhale, lower. Big breath in, squeeze it in, come back halfway and lower. 3 more. Up, squeeze, back and down. Up, squeeze it in, back and down. Last one. Up, squeeze, back and down. Open up the elbows. Take a big breath across the collarbone. Let the belly relax. So if that was challenging for you this morning for this next series, stay with that. If you want to up it just a bit, we're going to lift a knee to the elbow, actually the elbow to the knee. We don't want to bring the knee past the hip point here. The idea is shoulders, head off of the mat. Take a big inhale, elbows come in. Good, draw the belly in. On your exhale, come up, lift the left knee, right shoulder reaches towards the knee. Come back halfway, exhale, lower down. Inhale, half. Exhale, lift the right knee, left elbow towards that knee. Come back half, everything sets down. Nice and smooth. Inhale, half. Exhale, twist. Back halfway, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale, twist. Inhale back, exhale, release. 3 more. Up and over, back and down. Up, over, back and down. Up, over, back and down. Up, over, back and down. Open the elbows. If there's any doubt where you're working in the front body, I think you'll find it right underneath the rib cage, the upper chest sternum area. Take a moment here, take a nice deep breath. Let it go, roll over to the side, remove the towel or bolster, come back down onto the back body. Let's just take a big stretch here, fingers away from toes. Find some length in the front body, a little bit of an arch in the back body, maybe wiggle around here. Draw the knees into the chest, release the low back, rocking back and forth. Plant the feet into your bridge pose. Grab that towel or a bolster or block even. Press into your heels, lift the hips up just like you would in your bridge. As a matter of fact, as you come into your bridge, let's pause there. Send the weight between the shoulder tips so the head and the neck are not constrained. Send the knees towards the top of your mat so you get this nice slope. And just for a moment, engage the glutes, draw in the belly, and notice your breath. And then slide your prop underneath the sacrum, not the low back, not the flesh of the bun. There's a nice shelf there just built for this. God and all of his goodness, right? Yeah. All right, bring the legs to table, knees directly over the hip point. You can hold the side of your mat. You can expand the arms to a T or a cactus to get a little bit of room, space in the chest. Or I like to bring my fingertips down to the very low belly to actually feel the engagement of the muscles that we're working. So flexing the feet, heel taps. As you're ready, inhale, belly in and up. Exhale, right heel down. Inhale, we lift up. Left heel down. Inhale, engage the belly here, and we'll go right, and we'll go left. Draw the core in, gather it in and up, and just alternate nice fluid movements here. So we did work the top of the chest. You'll feel this now more in the very, very, very low belly. Take 2 more each side, as fast or slow. Just be conscious of your breath. Legs back to table, take a moment. Deep breath in, regather the belly in. Your choice, you can stay just with that, or you can extend the legs towards the ceiling. They don't have to be straight. They can even be at a 3/4 there. Good. Heel taps here. Watch the back. We don't want to compensate the front with using the back, the low back here. So inhale, draw the belly in. Exhale, right heel lowers and taps. Draw it back on the inhale. Left heel lowers and taps. Big inhale draws it in. So take it back and forth. And again, here, you do not need to come all the way down. So keep the navel in towards the spine just to keep the back nice and supported. And alternate back and forth. And if you are feeling this more into the back body, I invite you just to bend the knees, maybe not so much table, but halfway up there, and try it that way, and don't come down like you're walking on the ceiling. Feet are flexed. Nice. 2 more each side. Any version. And we'll end back, legs up towards the ceiling. Take a minute and pause here. So we're going to continue any round of option 1 or 2, or option 3 is both legs together. You will notice I only bring mine down about 1/3 of the way because I do take it in my low back. So as you're ready, big inhale in. And as you exhale, lower the heels any amount. Pause wherever you're hovering, and then inhale and pull them back up to the ceiling. Lower down. And pull it up. We'll take 5. Use your breath. The tendency when we work through the core is to hold the breath, but the muscles, everything needs that fresh breath in, that energy that you bring in. 1 more. Okay, legs back up towards the ceiling. Bend the knees, draw the knees into the chest. So you're up on this prop underneath your sacrum. As you draw the knees into the chest, I'd like you to let the tailbone round up with you. So as you arrive here, soften the shoulders, find the length in the neck. But maybe as you let those hips rise, you also do have a nice release into the low back. Great. Bring the feet back down into your bridge pose. Take a big breath in, belly in, lift the hips, return to bridge. Bring the weight between the shoulder tips, lift the hips high, Send the knees to the top of your mat. Notice your breath. Let's stay for 3 breaths here. Nice. And then reaching underneath you to remove the prop. You can lower 1 vertebrae at a time, or drawing that belly in, nice straight spine. Maybe you bring everything down to the mat at one time. Again, I think it's personal preference on how your spine is. Good. Walk the feet out wide to the mat, and let's just windshield it out. Walk the feet back in. Bring the legs up to table. Reach for that block. Place it between the knees. I have mine lengthwise from the knees to my calf. Good. My feet are flexed. My arms are in cactus. You take any position that serves you here. Squeezing the block in, we're just going to move into the obliques just a little bit. So take the breath and draw the belly. Exhale, squeeze the block. Knees go to the right. Shoulders stay nice and even on the mat. Inhale, come back to center. Squeeze the block. Take it left. Inhaling to center, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then just rotate. Just like a little pendulum here, back and forth with breath. Inhaling as you come up and exhaling as you allow the knees to go right and left. Okay. Now, Sandy, I say Montana Sandy, asked the question last week. As we're going right and left, do we raise the opposite hip bone? And the answer here is yes. We leave the shoulders on the mat. So come back to neutral here. We're going to hover. I'm going to hover to the left first since that's towards the camera side. Take a full breath in. Draw the belly in. And on the exhale, send the knees left any amount and pause. So just notice your body here. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Face is soft. The breath is coming into the right ribs. Breathing in fully, squeezing that block, and the right hip is elevated off the mat. Squeeze into the block, 1 more breath. Stay for the exhale. Squeeze and return to center. Pause there, just level out the hips, maybe just take a little bit of movement. And then as you're ready, gather the belly back in, take the big deep breath in and exhale. Knees over to the right. So I don't want you looking at your screen, but as I take my knees to hover right, my left hip is lifting maybe an inch or 2 off of my mat. Kind of off on a diagonal. My gaze is still up at the ceiling. My neck is nice and long, face soft. Big breath into the left rib basket here. Really expand the lung, expand through the intercostals. And then squeeze that block in and come back to neutral. Pause, just level out the hips. Take that block, just take it just above the head. Squeeze the knees in. Good, so hands on top of the knees. We're just gonna release from that tailbone, low back area. Hands on the knees. Send those knees opposite right and left, opening up through the inner thighs. Press them back towards the top of your mat as you bring them together, roll on the tailbone, and then squeeze the knees back into the chest and feel the body move up the spine. So just take a couple like that, just mindful of the massage, reverse it, take it the opposite way. And then we'll come back. Placing the legs up, flexing the feet towards the ceiling and drawing the belly in. Yes, it is time. So when you're ready, and again, we watch the back here with our pass the block. Lower the legs down. Point the toes. Take the full body stretch. The block is in your hand as you stretch your hands over your head. Gather the belly, big breath. Exhale, lift the legs, lift the shoulders and head off the mat, and pass the block to in between your feet. And then slowly lower down, stretch it out. Big breath in, and as you exhale, pick up the shoulder blades, reach. Don't let those legs reach for your hands. Your hands reach up, grab the block, and then slowly lower, stretch it out. We're going to take 5 with breath. Big breath in, gathers it all together, and on the exhale, we lift it up, pass the block, and slowly lower down. 4 more. Hug the belly in. Notice the breath. And notice again that the legs just aren't like flowing into plow pose, if you know what plow pose is. I've got 1 more. Nice. When you finish, lower everything. Take the stretch, release the block. Draw the knees back in. Let's circle 1 more time, massaging tailbone all the way up to the low floating ribs, and reverse. And squeeze in 1 more time and roll over to your side. We'll find all 4s. Flowing a couple cat-cows just to release the spine. If you need to put your hair clip back in, now's the time to do it. All 4s, stack the joints, draw the belly in, press through the palms. And this, lower the belly, lift the heart, lift the tailbone. Find some length in where we just worked, and then press into the palms and round in. Chin in, tailbone in, press those palms so that the shoulders float towards the ceiling, and then release it all. Inhale, belly drops, chest lifts. 1 more. And returning to a neutral table, walk the hands out so that you can come down onto your forearms. Number 11 here. So as Zam would say, this is puppy pose. Puppy pose, we're not staying there though. Spread the fingers wide. Take the right leg back, rest on the ball of the foot. Take the left to join. Drop the hips in line with the shoulders. Heels back, so you engage through the calf, the Achilles, engage the quad, draw in the belly, gaze is straight down. All of a sudden, you're in forearm plank. Always the option to gather the palms together at the center, kind of forming an upside down V. Always an option to drop the knees. We need the breath, nice and full. Sink those heels, lift the chest, press into the forearms. Notice your breath. Option to stay here or drop the knees as we did last week. If you want to take a forearm side, take that left forearm across the mat. Send the heels over to the left. You come onto the edge of the feet and then open up to the right. Lift the hips up. You can stay in the first position. You can also reach the arm. Circle down, come back, forearm plank. Big breath. Last big effort here. If you took side plank, right forearm across, shift onto the edge of the feet, lift the hips as you open left. Big breath. Return, forearm plank. Heels back, chest up, last big breath here. And then drop the knees, drop the hips. Sphinx pose. So the legs can be open any amount. Press into the palms and energetically slide the palms and the elbows toward the side ribs. And as you do that, lengthen the front body. A little bit of a passive back bend in the back body. Take a full breath. Let it go slow. Stack the palms in front of you. Rest the forehead on the pillow of the hands. Elbows out nice and wide so that we begin to bring some space in through the tissue under the arms. Maybe shimmy out the hips to release the back, or bend the knees and windshield wiper, whatever feels good here. Slowing it down, slowing the breath down, allowing us to find a moment of stillness as we close this practice. Notice if you're clenching in the shoulders, let the chest fall to the support of the mat. Feel the weight of the hips heavy with the support of the mat. And then draw a nice, full, deep inhale in the nose. And as slow as you can, release the breath, release the body. Shavasana. Stay as long as you can.